don't make sense what the suffering was for. Cause I got out my head and I got in my bag. No time to be crying, there's money to make. I'll do what I gotta, whatever it takes. Cause I'm pushing myself to be one of the great. And my time is right now, I cannot wait.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Extreme Lifestyle Living Podcast. Now, today I want to talk about something that I think I've been heavily investing into this recently because, I'm very honest about where I'm going at in my life and the exact positions I'm in today on this journey, because I do believe that we all go through the same emotions and the same adversities to a certain extent when we are trying to upgrade our lives, whether it's physically, mentally, emotionally, or financially. And the biggest thing that's been resonating with me lately is nurturing of the soul. Just really trying to have a fulfilled heart and enjoying every present moment. And there's a quote that I want to lead this entire podcast episode off, and it's be where your feet are at. It's a quote that I heard when I was at an event in Kelowna in January, and there was a lady that said it. She just said that the best piece of advice she could give anybody is be where your feet are at. And I want you to take note of that as I talk about nurturing of the soul, because my biggest thing to be completely transparent and why I'm bringing it to this episode is because, I've built myself to have the exact life that I've dreamed of, and I'm going to talk about what that means to me in a few. But what I mean by that is you really do think that the grass is always greener. You really do think that certain levels of success, certain levels of your life, whether it's fitness goals, career goals, or relationship goals, statuses, and things of these natures, give you certain emotions and feelings and fulfillment and validation. And it is true to a certain extent, but not entirely. So I feel like it's so relevant to talk about nurturing of the soul, and I'm going to talk about what it is. I want to talk about why it's important. I want to talk about my main takeaway that I want for you, what you to get out of it. And then I'm going to talk about my 3 main ways to nurture my soul, and give you a little bit of a breakdown of how I do that for myself. And the reason why I love talking about stuff like this is because it's so close to the heart. And it's honestly, I'm going through this right now, trying to figure it out. For so many years of my life, I was so hyper fixated on the end goal and the end result and the tangible successful wins to get me to X place in my life. And when I got there, and I'm still here, and I don't got everything in my life, but I'm in a hell of a lot better position than I was before. And it's I'm still just feeling marginally the same emptiness, marginally the same negative emotions. And it's on one hand, you're very successful for everything I've done, but on the other hand, emotions and mentality and mindset, I'm still struggling in a lot of ways that do not serve me, and especially do not serve how hard I've been working to get where I'm at. So nurturing of the soul, we're going to talk about it. So nurturing of the soul is treating your truest self with love, respect, and compassion. And what I mean about your truest self is your soul, who you are, to your core. And only you know that, right? And if you're blessed to have a lot of your life be an example of that, then you're very blessed. What I mean by that is, you have friend groups that are very supportive of you, the authentic version of you, right? You're not pretending to be in a different group or pretending to be someone you're not to gain clout or gain any type of status that isn't a true form of status. Prime examples, if you're just trying to get financial goals and because you want to flex on people and be yo, I'm making way more money than you guys, I'm more important. And no, that's not gonna nurture your soul at all. None of that stuff is. Same as you're going to the gym for fitness and you just want to look better than absolutely every single person. No, that's not gonna fulfill your soul. It's not gonna nurture your soul. So nurturing your soul is treating your truest self, who you are deep down, and serving that person, that form of you. And the reason why that's so important is because it's one of those things that if you can honestly understand what really gives you fulfillment, gives you purpose, gives you drive, then that's going to build a new foundation of mental fortitude that's going to not only bring out your healthiest mindset, but it's going to bring out your healthiest body, physicality. You're going to be in the best shape of your life because everything else in your life is going to have a benefit from the backing of this foundation that you've had, knowing who you are, your truest form of your soul, of your core, who you are, what makes you tick. And I think once you understand a little bit about yourself in that regard, you can start to discover a whole different level of mental fortitude. And I don't want to get off on these tangents because I really want to talk about like aspects of how you can nurture this part of your soul and find out who you are to the core and things. But my main takeaway that I want for you during this podcast episode is to hopefully have some avenues of the discussion resonate with who you are. And then you start treating your truest self, your truest form with more respect, more self-love, and more self-compassion. And I'm hoping that once you find more peace within these areas of your life and your mindset, your soul will start to open up and your core will start to open up to these new avenues of your life that are going to serve the truest form of yourself. And I've talked about it a lot of times in my other podcasts and things, like you decide you want different avenues of your life that serve you, make you feel better. An easy one to say is like relationships, right? We've all had relationships that were not the best, and you have to display those boundaries. And in order to display those boundaries, you have to put them up. And once you put them up, you respect them and you go through those emotions and embrace them, then you grow. This is no different, right? Well, whoever you are to the core, your truest form of yourself, your soul, set boundaries up and start to align your life to that abundance that you can get to. It's just hard to embrace those emotions, that's why it's my main takeaway is that I hope you just find something that resonates with you to start treating that part of your body and your mind and soul to the core with a little bit more self-compassion and self-respect and self-love to hopefully in your future have a better, more aligned future with who you want to become. So my 3 main takeaways on Nurture Your Soul is number 1 is family, support, and community. Now, I'll start off with family because family is always a touchy subject, right? Some of us have great families that bond really well. We have regulation amongst everybody. They see each other like routinely and everything's kind of, I don't want to say great because you can't pinpoint everyone's struggles. And you don't like everyone has their own struggles and adversities, but let's say just a family that has structure and some love and compassion amongst each other. Then you have other families that are broken, like some people don't talk to their family, some people don't interact with their family, their mom, dads, cousins, brothers at all, So that's why I say support and community as well, because there is a sense of quote unquote family throughout your community and support structure that you've grown. And I know that's huge for me, and that's a big reason why I do online coaching, and because I can have so much more impact with so much more broad individuals, and I think it's a beautiful thing. So as much as like nurturing your soul comes from an internal standpoint, you just simply can't do it alone. And that's something that I've learned the hardest way. Not the hardest way, I don't want to say it that way, but that's something that's taken a long time for me to learn. I'm now realizing me reaching out to certain people, like I burned some bridges, not intentionally, but like, just for me being so invested into my vision and my goal that I've accidentally disrespected some people and just, didn't appreciate their time like I should have. And I say that with a positive tone because it's one of those things where you realize support and community can become your family as well. And one of the biggest things about nurturing your soul is like having those avenues of support in your life with your family and your community, because it's like doing things like outings, whether it's barbecues or going, I don't want to say go for a few beers, but the patio, have a burger. If you have a few drinks, that's okay. You know what I mean? Just enjoying the company of people. That's one of the biggest things, And it's like game nights and everything like that. Like just regular visits with family, like seeing your nieces and your nephew and knowing that you guys are going to be certain of seeing them. Like those things there are, number one, is like with the family support and community is one of those things that like you don't realize how much it helps you until you embrace it and really engulf yourself into that side of your life. So it's like, that's number one, honestly. It's just the biggest thing to fill your cup, nurture your soul to the core, is just embrace your family, embrace your community, embrace your support structure, and just know that once you start to find more people like that in your life, it's just like snowballs and it just gets better and better. Number 2 is simple, but it's another one that's often missed, is movement is medicine. You have to treat your body with self-love and a ton of respect. There's the thing with this is if you don't use it, if you don't use it, you lose it. And the biggest thing with that is it doesn't have to be a crazy lofty fitness school. You don't have to go to the gym 5, 6, 7 times a week. Hell, you don't have to go to the gym at all. It's just about moving your body and getting a minimum of 10K steps in a day. It could be bouldering. It could be going for walks often. It could be just moving your body, just being mindful of it. If you sit down all day, go for walks, or at least do something to offset that. Do Pilates, go for swims, just be active. That's the biggest thing, is just be active. We're meant to move. Go for walks, grab a bike, like I was talking to my client the other day, and it's like something simple to help with his mental health and mindset. It's like, get a bike, buy a bike. Went out and bought a bike, did 30, 40 minutes of just biking around the city, and it's like, it's gratifying. It's blissful for the mind, and you're moving your body, and that's what it is. It's a form of self-love. So movement is medicine, and it's like, just whatever form of that is. just fucking do something, period. You just have to. And the third one is having a lifestyle that aligns with who you are, which goes back to the very beginning of me talking about everything about like who you are to a core, your truest form of yourself. And that's meaning like your career. Does your career, like, do you get fulfillment from your work? Do you enjoy your work? Your daily tasks that you do every day, are they enjoyable? Are you doing them because they align with you? Are you doing them out of like habit? Like, what is it? Things that you think about all day, your mindset. Are you depressed, anxiety? What are you thinking about all day in terms of positivity, negativity? Are you engulfed in the news and politics? Or are you like, actually nurturing your soul and being present in the moment, being where your feet are at? So the reason why number 3 is like would be the last one, honestly, is because it's like these are the hardest ones to align into your life, right? And nurture your soul. Like, if prime example, if you have a career like maybe gives you an X amount of income and it doesn't fulfill you, and you want something that fulfills you in terms of a career, that's hard to make a switch, right? Let's say you're a firefighter and you make $110,000 a year. $110,000 a year is going to give you a pretty comfy living. However, what if you just don't like that work? What if you can't handle it? What if your mental health, you're just honest with yourself? You're like, I can't be trusted because I can't withstand it, and that's completely okay. So it's like it's hard to make an adjustment to keep that same quality of lifestyle of $110,000 a year and then move over to maybe a job that's like restarting, like maybe $30,000 a year, entry level somewhere, So it's like things like that. So you don't want to like neglect those avenues of life and changing and stuff, but having a lifestyle that aligns with who you are is just starting to get all of those balls rolling, whether it's your career, emotional state, relationship. Are you in a relationship that serves you? Do you guys serve each other? Is it mutually beneficial? Do you guys love each other? If not, start making the steps to heal those patterns, heal those relationships, grow together, or do each other a service and maybe grow without each other. It's all okay. Same with your schooling. Are you having trouble finding what it is? Just whatever it is, it's just understanding that not tomorrow, maybe not the next week, but just understand that your future will be aligned with who you are. And that's what I meant about saying that little comment about it builds, it has a snowball effect. Once you start finding these things that nurture your soul and make you feel fulfilled and whole as a person, it really does have a snowballing effect and get better and better. So another other thing with lifestyle that aligns with who you are is like even as simple as morning routines and your nighttime routines. Are you doing things in the morning that serve you? Are you enjoying your morning routine, nighttime routines? Are you reading? Are you writing? What type of form of self-expressive avenues do you have? Do you play video games with friends, or are you taking a mentorship course? Or you like, what is it? Something that serves you. You can't just guide through what life and go work and things like that. You can't just exist. And for me, lifestyle that aligns with me is, I took 3 years of my life to work. I sacrificed 3 years of my life to work around the clock, doing mentorship programs and studying different types of avenues of business and getting my coaching certificates and understanding the processes of how to serve people. And I built my life up so I can have a morning routine that serves me ultimately all around the clock, a nighttime routine that serves me all around the clock. I've done all that. Like I've suffered taking that pay cut. I've suffered the time with friends and family, which is why I said I've realized being so invested into certain things in my life, I've lost certain people because I wasn't aware, because I was so invested into the vision, right? But whatever it is, you just have to build that lifestyle that aligns with you. And that's even why, like me doing these podcasts, I can reflect on like why it's important to have a family support system and a community. You know what I mean? And that's why all these three main takeaways to nurture your soul, which is 1, family support and community. You can't do it alone. 2, movement is medicine. You have to treat your body with self-love. And 3, in my big rant about lifestyle aligns with who you are. None of this stuff is easy, but the biggest thing is about it being honest. All of it has to be honest to who you are. And there's a multiplier effect when it comes to doing honest work. And what I mean by this is the snowball effect as well. It's the same similarity. No different how, like, if you're listening and you've been on a fitness journey and you know what it's like to go through body recomposition the first 3 to 6 months, maybe even 8 months to a year of really dialing in on your nutrition and your volume in the gym and your movement patterns to get your body back to optimal health, to start going on a cut, going on a bulk, gaining muscle, losing body fat in a healthy manner. And this is no difference, right? It takes a long time to see those effects that ultimately give you the life that you want. However, it has that multiplier effect, and it's a snowball effect. Once you keep it up long enough, you'll start to get those big breakaways that serve you in ways you've never thought imaginable. You can have a career that's so fulfilling that it like makes you sick to your stomach because you start to get anxiety thinking that, is this my real life? This is my job? This is what I do? This is what I got to do? This is what I get to do? Wow, like it's for real. Same thing with a morning routine. If you've ever waken up with severe anxiety and depression, there is mornings where you're going to wake up feeling fulfilled, ready to tackle the day, excited to attack the day, and there's no anxiety, no depression. It's all abundance. Same with nighttime routines. You're not going to be like, anxiety stricken, going on your phone, scrolling for 2-3 hours because you just don't want to go to sleep to go and get to the next day. Everything of your pigment, every pigment of your imagination for your future, as great as you can imagine it, can exist if you just decide to go through the suffering of the present moment to get to the future that you want. But that's my big spiel on nurturing of the soul, and it's something that's been really resonating with me lately, because to me, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what physical shape you're in, what career you're doing, what social status you have, or what part of your life you're at, if you do not really truly care about what you have in front of you in terms of your soul, your relationships, your community, what movement you're doing, and the lifestyle you're living, So hope you took some type of takeaway from nurturing of your soul. My biggest thing is I hope you understand what I mean by that in terms of finding who you are to a core and starting to serve that person, treat that person with more self-compassion, self-love, and self-respect. But other than that, have a great week. I appreciate you guys, and see you in the next episode. Let's go.
Who's on my side, I don't know anymore. Cause it's more than a battle, we going to war. And losing again, I just cannot afford. I think it's my time to go even the score. What you see on the surface attached to my core. I'm stacking my paper, but feeling for more. One hell of a ride, but I'm staying on board. And now it makes sense what the suffering was for. Cause I got out my head and I got in my bag. No time to be crying, there's money to make.